judge is rationalizing away our liberty, or some congressman is plotting to take your freedom or your tax dollars, we should know what they do every minute that they do it. I was speaking to a group of congressmen from a neighboring state. I'll tell you which state it was, but they don't play football there. That leaves just a few. And they came up to me and said, this is the first time we have heard that the Patriot Act allows federal agents to write their own search warrants. Remember, in the Constitution, we put in the Fourth Amendment, the right to be left alone, to make sure that if the government had a target,
are you talking about the informant?
No matter how guilty the target, no matter how widespread is the belief in the guilt of the target, no matter how dangerous is the target, the government has to go through a neutral judge with a search warrant before it can get to that target. These members of Congress said, we didn't know that the Patriot Act allowed the government to bypass the courts and write any search warrant they wanted. And then I asked them a question that I knew the answer to already. Did you read the Patriot Act before you voted on it? Answer, no. What were you voting on? A summary we received. Let me guess who wrote the summary. Some lawyers in the Justice Department, right? Of course. Would you hire anybody to run your business that committed you to a violation of the very reason you were in business if they didn't even read the document by which they were making that commitment? Of course not.
Oh, awesome.
The camera is the new gun. There's nothing the government dislikes more than the light of day and cameras recording what the government is doing, whether it's on a street corner or in there or in Washington, D.C. We have the right to know everything that they do and why they do it and when they do it and how they've taken our freedom.
Man, I really need a tripod.
I have another one of my basic core beliefs. The individual has an immortal soul. Every individual is greater than any government. But government is based on fear and force. You don't have to take my word for it. The second president of the United States, John Adams, said, of course the government is based on fear. And the first president, George Washington, said, government is not reason, it is force. I think, regrettably, they knew what they were talking about. Now fast forward to modern times. Whenever the government wants something, it scares us. During the Civil War, Lincoln tried civilians in this state where no battles occurred by military tribunal. After he died, the Supreme Court invalidated everything the military tribunals did. During the First World War, the Wilson administration locked up 2,000 people and called them anarchists. Same thing as enemy combatant. No trial, no charge, just jail for the duration of the war. In World War II, FDR locked up 150,000 Japanese Americans, people born in the United States, who got no trial and had no charges, and when the war was over were given $25 and told to go home. And today we have federal agents. You know, I get in arguments with my friends at Fox, and one of them, I don't have to tell you who it is, but it is truly the most irascible person there. And he said to me, you know, you have a problem with Guantanamo Bay, and you have a problem with the Patriot Act. what will you do if I get sent to Guantanamo Bay? Will you visit me? And I said, Bill, no. Because they'll probably keep me there as well. The government likes to say that it has taken an oath to uphold the Constitution. In the years that I was on the bench, it seemed every time government lawyers were in my courtroom, whether the government was prosecuting somebody who was legitimately guilty or whether it was a mistake, or whether someone was suing the government because government doctors or government contractors or government workers made a mistake. The government doesn't come into the courtroom to enforce the Constitution. It comes into the courtroom to evade and avoid it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, must be stopped. This is a great moment in our history. A crowd of this magnitude on a beautiful day in the boiling sun in the most middle American of great middle American states. Comes together not because the president is a Democrat, not because his predecessor was a Republican, not because a war is just or unjust, not because the Fed is stealing or printing. You are here because you believe in human freedom. It is the essence of our existence that we should be free. But remember this, the government hates freedom. It is an obstacle to every one of their designs.